So even though I should be conserving my battery, and I have kind of like lettuce and little dirty grits between my teeth because didn't want to waste too much of my water washing off the lettuce, and it's good B12 anyway. I guess it's a good time just to talk about the whole raw versus cooked versus raw till 4 thing. Just because I guess I've come from, you know, being vegan my whole life, going high carb briefly and then transitioning to fully raw like just like that, and it was the easiest thing I've ever done. Just I was in a really good place, I had access to good things, you know, it was just a breeze. And I guess I should have thought, you know, more into long term. Like I'd already booked my flights to come to Europe, you know, before I decided to crazily go raw, and I guess I was just trialing it out and didn't think it would be, you know, such a lifestyle that I would then, you know, continue on with. So coming overseas was, yeah, a bad idea. Just gonna lay it down like that. I had a really good setup going on, you know, I was in a safe environment, you know, everything was, yeah, easy, positive, and I was recovering in a really, you know, slow and steady and nice flowing way. Came over here and the whole boat basically like rocked. You know, the first night I had to eat some rice, and then the next day, Sunday being, you know, Sunday in Germany, nothing's open, and so I had to then have like a vegan burrito. And from that moment on, I basically, I guess you could say, developed a little bit of a, you know, a mental eating disorder in regards to the whole raw 80-10-10 thing, just because, you know, I was so caught up about it, and I guess I punished myself in a way. You know, I thought I had failed, and, you know, just, it was, yeah, it was horrible. And then I guess I went really Nazily strict about it. I wanted to still stay all organic, and so the only things I could really get were organic apples and tomatoes and some greens. And I basically like spent more than half my savings just in like the first month or two, just like trying to really, you know, do the proper 80-10-10 thing. And then after that I kind of, you know, fell off the wagon, you know, a little bit. So I had, you know, some vegan cooked food that may have had a little bit too much fat in it. In saying that though, I just realized that I have not had a single cashew nut since Christmas Eve. And cashews were like my favorite thing in the whole wide world. So for me, yeah, not to do that, it means that I'm in control of something. Like, you know, cashews and sweet potato were like my weakness, and I've had sweet potato I think twice now since, yeah, since being raw, and now being, I guess, a mix of raw and raw till 4, and basically, yeah, whatever I can do. And I guess I just want to address that it's basically about finding what works for you, really. Like, you know, all of these amazing inspirational people that we've got, you know, sharing their knowledge and insight and, you know, their journey with us. They're just doing what works for them and their bodies personally, because, you know, that's what they're doing, and that's how they're, you know, thriving and getting the results. And so, you know, they can talk and explain and share all they want, but they're not you or me, and they don't know what it's like to be in our bodies. So I started putting on weight last year just because of all the stuff I went through. I'm going to talk about that, you know, drinking, drugs, depression, breakups, all that horribly nasty stuff. And so, you know, a little bit while I was at uni, and then when I stopped in November, I just drank, went out, worked, didn't really exercise at all. And so by the time I got to my dad's place in the new year, I guess I'd put on like a fair few kilos. And then I weighed myself twice before I came overseas. Once on Valentine's Day when I was at a lovely little raw 80-10-10 feast, and then I think a month later just before I came over here, and I was the same. So it was a few kilos more than last year, because last year for uni we had to do some little test and had to weigh ourselves, and before that I hadn't weighed myself in years. Just, yeah, from some previous dancer stuff, we were weighed every day, and I just didn't want to subject myself to that. So even though, you know, I was skinny, underdeveloped, you know, perfect example of a ballet body back then, I just vowed that, you know, no matter what my shape and size was, I would, yeah, never weigh. Sorry about that. Looks like the creepy drunks are coming out to play a little bit early. I suppose it is already after like 7 or something. So yeah, I was having a little rant. So yeah, basically when I was 14, I got to weigh ourselves every day, and so from that moment on I said, yeah, no matter what my shape and size, I would never do that again. And I didn't really, but, you know, little things do creep in. Like, you know, you're a dancer and you're looking at yourself every day in the mirror, and, you know, you're comparing yourself to others, and then, you know, what other people are having to do with their diets and, you know, restricting and all that. And it does, like, you know, I remember not eating carbs after 4 o'clock from when I was, yeah, like 15 or 16, just because, you know, one of my other dancer friends was doing it and, you know, was told, yeah, don't eat carbs after 4, and so all that stuff, it does kind of, yeah, it does play with your mind and make you go a little bit crazy. And if you're, you know, thinking about food and weight and stuff, then I guess, you know, as people say, that is a little bit of an eating disorder. So I guess I had, you know, a slight, you know, just a dancer's concern. And then, you know, I went overseas and had, you know, some experiences in America and tried some vegan food, came back on an epic drinking binge and put on weight, and didn't really care back then. But all the stuff that happened to me last year was, yeah, a really new experience. Yeah, putting on like a lot of weight and actually looking in the mirror and being like, what the fuck is happening to me? Like, this has never happened to me before, and I've, you know, been able to overcome it. So I'm here now in London, and I've been in Berlin, and yeah, I've put on, I think, over about 10 kilos since last year. And it, you know, 2012, I can show you pictures, and my legs were just tiny, and I, you know, don't know what's happened. Well, you know, I do know what's happened, but, you know, it's hard to comprehend. So I'm just trying to do the best I can. You know, I shouldn't be in Europe at the moment while I'm starting this lifestyle and, you know, trying to cleanse and detox and I guess, you know, get everything in order, but I'm here and I'm doing the best I can. And so that's why I just wanted to address, you know, raw versus raw till 4. In the big picture of things, it's all about being vegan and not, you know, harming the environment and, you know, the gorgeous animals. So, you know, while you can say that this is, you know, the best lifestyle, or this is the best lifestyle, it's just whatever works for you. And okay, last time I promised, I'm going to wrap it up now because I'm going to head off. So yeah, basically, you know, I wish I could be fully raw again. You know, I wish I'd stayed in Australia and just seen, you know, what being on raw 80-10-10 it did for me and, you know, worked. And because yeah, since, you know, coming here, and I guess, you know, you could say eating cooked food has made me put on weight, but who really knows, you know. I guess I was restricting a bit when I was just trying to live off organic apples and tomatoes and, you know, the seasonal organic stuff that I could get, and, you know, spent more than half my money just trying to do that. That could have been the reason, you know, cutting back so dramatically and then suddenly being like, okay, I'm just going to, you know, prioritize getting organic bananas and greens and then whatever other fresh ripe fruit I can get at the markets. And if there's nothing available, then having to resort to some potatoes or rice. So, you know, there's one opinion and there's the other. I wish, you know, I could have seen how being fully raw worked out, you know, after a year or more. But this is what I'm doing now. So it's high carb cooked food, you know, when I've got nothing else, like right now, and we'll see what I can do tomorrow. And, you know, doing little mini raw, I guess, challenges is a good thing, but then, you know, if I have to go back to cook food, I guess it's not going to, you know, really eliminate, you know, the problem of what's causing, you know, my skin to be horrible or what's made me put on the weight or any of that. So I've just got to, you know, hang in there for the long haul and basically be high carb, be vegan, keep it low fat, and just do the best that I can. Oh, I'm going a little bit crazy clearly, but yeah. So, who knows where I'm going to slot this video in the middle of my London adventures, or make some, you know, vegan dance girl has a crazy ranting moment. We'll see. Alrighty, ciao ciao.